right, you ready?
Season 4 was Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Season 5 was the Reputation.
Zombie bear kind of poster
Oh,
hunting.
the zombie bear. That's right. Poster hunt. That's right. And then 6 was Reputation.
Yeah.
7th heist. Okay, great. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So these are more general questions, though. So question 1, have seasonal updates improved Last Day on Earth updates as a whole, or have they been detrimental to the game's success?
That's a great question. So I definitely don't think they've been detrimental to the game's success. I think from a developer's point of view, I'm not a developer, but I think from their point of view, it is giving something that people are looking forward to. I mean, every time I look at like a Kafir video, they've got tons of people on there like, oh, I can't wait till the next season. Like it gives them something. They like the busy work. They like the running around and doing the different tasks. And so it's become part of their thing. They enjoy it. And, I would say that, and so I personally, I don't like the seasons. And I think that the seasons have in some ways gotten worse as they've gone, mainly because it started out with what seemed to be like, hey, we're going to explain some things. We got in a storyline sense, like we've got this outside of the wall, we got the specimen, then the military takes it away.
Oh yeah, I remember the outside of the wall thing.
And then in season 2, they just alluded to it in season 1. It was much bigger later on with Sector 7. But in season 2, they still did like experimental, like specimen alpha, specimen beta, but they didn't connect. It didn't feel like they connected the two. And at least I didn't see a connection. And then after that, they just started to not, it felt like they weren't even trying to connect the seasons to each other. Like it just kind of was, now we're going to have a Christmas theme season, and now we're going to have this season, which is typical of other games to have those seasons, and then they're not necessarily like a storyline. But with Last Day on Earth not having multiplayer, it does kind of create a feel of like, well, what is the point of these? And I think a lot of advanced players are kind of like, okay, this is starting to feel a lot more like a State of Survival, or like one of those games that are, they're kind of the typical mobile game of today. And people like that. And that's what I've learned to like respect, is that that was not what I was hoping they were going to do with Last Day on Earth. I really didn't want them to do that Last Day on Earth. I think the reason Last Day on Earth exploded so much is because it wasn't like that. But at the same time, they have a lot of mobile gamers. And, right now on my channel, my fastest growing video, even though I've done like 300 or 200 plus Last Day on Earth videos, my fastest growing video is my video on State of Survival that my wife made. And not only is it my fastest growing video, but it's making 5 times as much as Last Day on Earth videos per view, because State of Survival does so many advertisements. And so it's one of those things where it's like, the world we live in is not necessarily a gamer-friendly world, and so I think that I feel for the developers of Last Day on Earth. I'm sure that they're gamers. I know Kafir's gamers. They created this amazing game, but at the same time, what people want might not be what true gamers typically want in our current world. And I mean, it definitely seems like Kafir has a purpose. They are specifically not listening to a lot of our requests to say, hey, this would make a better game. And that we've been giving them for years, and they don't make it. Yet in some of their other games, the smaller games that have more room to maybe make changes, when we make a request, hey, we want to change this or we want to do this, they'll make the changes. And especially in Frostborn, which hasn't been released yet, I mean, they're making almost every change that we request.
Yeah.
Which that clued me in. It's not that the devs disagree with us or aren't listening. There's something else going on. And I think that seasons represent something in our world that may not be gamer friendly, or at least what we would call gamer friendly, but it's something people want. And even though I wouldn't say hardly any of the Last Day on Earth YouTubers are like, yeah, this is what we want.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of people out there are wanting it. And if it's making Kafir a lot of money, I don't know if I can blame them. Even though I don't like it, I don't know if I can blame them for doing it.
So I guess that kind of really leads into question 2 perfectly. It's, do you personally, or as gamers as a whole, see a future with seasonal updates? Why or why not?
So I think eventually, I don't know, actually. I think that with seasons, can they go to, season 30? Will it ever feel cheesy at some point to be like, hey, this is season 37 or this is season 131, Will we ever be like, or will it at that point be kind of, this is part of the game? And honestly, I don't know. I think that they might be able to make it like, like YouTubers do. They'll do episodes. Last Day on Earth has found a system with these seasons. This may be Last Day on Earth forever, because I think I'm not a dev, but if I were to try to get in their head, I think what's happening is every time they come out with a new season, it creates, a lot of, oh, this and oh, that. And people want to know about it. And so the YouTubers are happy because people are coming to their channels for those seasons. The YouTubers might not be happy about the seasons, but they are happy about the views. And so they're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, those bring in new people into the game, which Last Day on Earth has kind of had a revolving door of gamers. Google is promoting the game because it's such a big game. Google is promoting the game like crazy, and they're getting so many downloads every day that those YouTubers can subsist, even though those YouTubers are switching a lot of viewers. A lot of the people that have gotten bored of the game aren't watching their channels anymore. There's still so many new people. And the first part of Last Day on Earth is the thing that made all of us fall in love with Last Day on Earth. The first, 50 levels haven't changed, Yeah. It's still getting your workbenches, working through those things, the green zones, the for a new player, the AI player that comes and kills you, and you're like, what? And then the first time you go to Bunker Alpha and a Frenzy Giant one-shots you, and you're like, that part of the game is still mystical and beautiful. I think that's what they're doing. They're using seasons to keep things going, but they don't have to change anything about the first part of the game, and Google just keeps sending them new. And then when people get bored of Last Day on Earth, like advanced players, then they're going to go play Grimsoul Survival or Jurassic Survival or one of these other games that has other content or a new version of the game. And Kafir wins because then you're spending money on a different one of their games. Yeah. And they get to hire more developers and try new things and yeah.
I've seen a lot of people, I think gradually as the seasons go on, grow more frustrated with Last Day on Earth due to the lack of permanent content per se. I think out of all of the seasons, the only one that has long-lasting permanent content is season 3, which was Bravo and Swamps.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so they obviously are adding some content like the ghillie suit and the Kevlar, or I guess Kevlar wasn't the same one that you're talking about, or no, it wasn't.
Kevlar anyways, was season 2, yeah.
Yeah. So they're adding a little bit here, a little bit there. But you're right. A lot of people are frustrated about the permanent content. But again, I think that they are happy or I think they've got all their algorithms planned out from their thing, and I mean, I personally think they're done with Last Day on Earth as far as the innovative, let's create a game that will change the world type of thing. I think that they've kind of like, you know what, we've got a good thing going that can fund other projects, and I even say that I don't mean like they're giving up on Last Day on Earth.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not, millions and millions of people like the seasons, and a lot of the YouTubers don't like it because a lot of us have been here from the beginning, but it's the world we live in right now, and people are kind of in and out. I don't know. It's something that I think that I think this is to stay. I used to think that they were just waiting for the other games to catch up, but I don't think that anymore. I think that unless something starts to really downturn with Last Day on Earth, and like really downturn, I think that this is their new system for it.
Wow. You even hit my third question somehow, which was supposed to be, where do you see the game headed in the future?
Well, yeah, I guess that did kind of answer your question. And again, I'm not a dev, so I don't know, but it feels like they're happy with their system. They are not promoting. They used to give us roadmaps for where things were going and how they were developing, and they don't do that anymore. But actually, the bigger sign for me that they're not developing it that way anymore is not those things. It's actually the hidden changes. I have the series on the hidden changes of Last Day on Earth.
Yep.
I've been covering them for a long time. And something has changed. Some of it was pretty fast, but then a lot of it has drastic. But there's just a lot of small things that don't get changed. And they did make several changes. This kind of ruins my theory a little bit. They did make one big update where they made a lot of small hidden changes, like you can double click on the workbench now, and it, double click on the motorcycle and that to load it or unload it.
Yeah.
And that's the type of changes I'm talking about, where they're like, oh, let's improve this, or let's tweak this, and let's make this a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't really balance things. They don't really tweak things like that. Like they used to do it all the time. They used to be a ton. And I see it in their other game. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of these tweaks and move and this and that. And they're not doing that with Last Day on Earth, which makes me think that the game designers, that branch of Kefir, is no longer that active with Last Day on Earth. That they still got storytellers, they've got story writers, they've got artists, they got all those things working on Last Day on Earth to do the seasons that we have. But the actual game designers that are pouring into that, creating, I think they're mostly done. And that's just my opinion, but that's what I see from what I'm from my end.
All right. I feel like you kind of touched on it already, but to ask the question directly, how do you see the lifespan of Last Day on Earth playing out?
I think it's going to last forever. I don't think it will ever die. I think we've always thought, oh, this is going to kill it. And I've just seen so many things not kill it. And ultimately, the reason why I think it's never going to die is because Google, or if Google dies, then maybe it'll die. But basically, Google's algorithms, and you know this from YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
Google's algorithms are going to always promote what is successful. We do this in our YouTube videos. If something has really produced success and people are engaging with it, then it will continue to promote it. And the first part of Last Day on Earth is timeless. It's definitely, the graphics are getting pretty outdated. Now that I've been playing Frostborn, the graphics are, I just started a new free-to-play solo series for Last Day on Earth. I just recorded on this this morning. Um, and the graphics are just so basic, but who cares? I mean, we play pixel games now. It's timeless. And I think that until all 2.5 billion gamers of this world have played it, Google is going to keep promoting it, keep showing new people, and then people are going to download it and play those first 50 levels or whatever. I mean, get their motorcycle, and they're going to really engage in the game. And I'm 99% sure that Google tracks how much we're playing a game. And so when we get on and we download that game, we start playing, Google's going to just be like, wow, they're spending a lot of time. They really like this game. I'm going to keep promoting it to more people. And so the first part of Last Day on Earth is awesome. It is a great concept. That's why they've been able to develop more successful games. Like Grimsoul has a huge following. Jurassic Survival, they kind of killed it because it wasn't doing as good as Last Day on Earth, but then they're like, actually, it's still growing. Let's develop it some more. And so they're back at that. They're building Frostborn. I don't know what else. I'm really hoping that the video that I guess will probably be out before this video comes out is I'm doing a video on space themed Last Day on Earth. I just think they have so many. Or they don't have it yet. But it would be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you could do some really cool things with that. You could do planets. There's just so many things you could do. And I think it would be really cool. So I think they'll keep doing that. They have a brilliant IP, intellectual property. They have a brilliant IP, and I think they're just going to duplicate it into all kinds of genres. And we're going to keep loving it because I've enjoyed every single one of them. I love the process, and I don't like that a lot of them are grindy at the end and designed to consume all of you.
Exponentially growing.
But I love the IP. The IP, I'm in love with the IP. And I think Google will keep promoting it until everyone has tried that, but it's going to be a revolving door. So that's what I mean. So the lifespan of Last Day on Earth, I would say, is 3. It depends on how active you are, but I would say between 3 to 6 months for a player. But that's long enough to where Google will continue to promote it to every mobile gamer out there. And I don't think it will ever die.